Hoya! Good morning, team. How are you? I hope you are all keeping well. I'm just going to give a few minutes for anybody that wants to jump on, can jump on. Looking forward to today's workshop. Great topic, actually. Today's topic being health literacy. That is a term that we fostered here at JMT. And health literacy is basically looking at all the key variables and aspects of what it means to be truly healthy. And there's lots and lots of different variables, but we've essentially summarized it down to 10. Now, interestingly enough, give me a second. I do realize that the old thing's a little bit smudged here, so we'll give it a little touch up just quietly. Oh, timed that perfectly, didn't I? I think it was Epictetus, one of the ancient Greek philosophers, and I believe he was a playwright. He said, we have a responsibility to be the best that we can be and all that we can be. And when I think about that, I think with a bit of sadness, to be honest, that health and wellness is a bit of the health and wellness is a minority group. And I do believe it is shifting, and I strongly believe there is a bit of a paradigm shift, especially in southeast Queensland and on the Sunshine Coast. There's a real wellness vibe and energy and a real paradigm shift. There's a lot of health and wellness facilities and practitioners on the Sunshine Coast. So I do believe it is shifting, but ultimately it is a minority group. And as Friedrich Nietzsche, the philosopher from the late 1800s to early 1900s said, you know, those that could be seen dancing were considered insane by those who could not hear the music. And in social psychology, we call that the in-group and the out-group. And so the out-group is those that prioritize their health and their wellness. And in the in-group, we've got people that are choosing instant gratification, dopamine hits and things that are immediately gratifying. Our fatty foods, our salty foods, our sugary foods, comfort, complacency, convenience. Whereas the out-group, the minority, choose discomfort, inconvenience, and action, essentially. So without further ado, I would highly recommend you grab a pen or paper or a digital note-taking device, because we're going to rip straight into this. We structured a fundamental evaluation system or structure for determining your current level of health literacy. So there are 10 variables, and each variable I would encourage you to rate yourself from 1 to 7. So 1, and a highly scientific term here, 1 is shithouse, and 7 is immaculate. You have mastery in that particular area. Now, this is central to Greg Glassman, who was the original founder of CrossFit. He bolstered and fostered what he calls the illness wellness continuum. And so on the far left-hand side here of this continuum, we have illness and we have dis-ease. Way on the other side, we have wellness, and then we have fitness. And then you've kind of got everything in between. So with this evaluation and reflective system that we have, this health literacy reflection, we can determine or infer where we are on the illness and wellness continuum. I hope you guys are following, and I hope I haven't confused anybody. And good morning, very good morning to those of you on Facebook Live, and good morning to those that are joined on Zoom. So we've got 10 variables. We're rating them 1 to 7. Hopefully you have a note-taking device or pen and paper, and I'm going to go through them briefly. I will speak a little bit to each variable. Now, it's important to note, when we reflect or evaluate, we do so without judgment. There's neither good nor bad, neither right or wrong. It just is. And as Aristotle said, the ancient Greek philosopher, he inferred that a life that is not reflected on or evaluated is a life not worth living. And I would argue that is a very, very poignant statement. So this is a great opportunity to reflect, take a timestamp. Okay, where are you on the 1st of October in terms of illness to wellness? Where are you today? And I would commit this to memory. So then you've got something to work on. So let's look at these 10 variables. Number 1 is nutrition. Do you have a healthy eating lifestyle? So this is not being too restrictive. This is just like majority of your foods being whole foods, anti-inflammatory foods. You're getting, close to 800 grams of fruit and vegetables every day. I am not a nutritionalist, but I think I can speak for the masses. Sometimes we don't necessarily know what the right thing is to eat, but I can fucking guarantee we know what the wrong thing is. So smothering ourselves in fucking Tim Tams and strawberry milkshakes on a Thursday afternoon is probably not a great idea. Questioning, is sweet corn good for you? Is it anti-inflammatory? Like you're on the wrong conversation. You should leave the chat. We know innately and intuitively what the wrong things are, but sometimes, we might struggle a little bit in the right things department. So give yourself a rating on 1 to 7 as it relates to nutrition. Where are you at? Remembering 1 is shithouse and 7 is fucking outstanding. You've got mastery there. 2, sleep. How is your sleep? What's your sleep hygiene like? Now they define, we define insomnia by one's ability to get to sleep. So we struggle to get to sleep, or 2, we wake up through the night repeatedly with a real resistance to get back to sleep. So they're kind of the 2 definitions of insomnia. Ideal, we know that sleep sits in that beautiful 7 to 9 hours of unbroken sleep. Is a good sort of a good frame of reference. But again, look at your sleep. Are you having deficient sleep constantly? I mean, sleep deprivation is the new smoking. There's a guy, Matt Walker. If you haven't already gone down the rabbit hole with a thirst for curiosity, Matt Walker has some incredible TED Talks. Has authored a number of books, and he is considered an expert and authority in sleep. He has a great statement, the shorter your sleep, the shorter your life. Pretty powerful statement. And those that may have experienced sleep deprivation, I'm pretty sure you could support that statement. Fitness. Where is your fitness at? Are you actively exercising? And I often think about the difference between working out and training here. Working out is moving for moving's sake. So this is the walkers, the 10,000 steps. This is the standing desks. This is, doing the odd class here and there, lifting some weights. That's working out, moving for moving's sake, which is really good. That's exercising. Training is doing the same, but there is intentionality, and our attention matches our intention, i.e. we've got some measurables. We're measuring numbers, we're measuring times, we're training for an event. This is what training is, and working out is moving for moving's sake. If we look at an aggregate, a bit of an average, 3 sessions a week will move the needle. You will start moving the needle from illness or dis-ease to wellness and fitness. Less than 3, so we're talking about 2 sessions here, is considered maintenance. And then we start to look at the 4 to 8 sessions a week. That's going to move the needle incredibly, but we need to have a recovery protocol there. Excess of that, I would argue you are under recovering. But everybody is very individualized, and it is relative, to the individual. Stress management. How do you manage the hold, the grip that stress has in your life? Now, the most common contributor to chronic stress is stress pertaining to our thoughts. So how good are you perceiving stress in your life and therefore managing it? So consider, perception is very powerful. We could look at stressful situations and see them as Ryan Holiday says in his book that he authored. I'm just looking up in the bookshelf there, but I believe it was called The Obstacle is the Way. Do we see stress as growth, as opportunity, as a potential for learning, or are we reinforcing our victim story? That sounds a little harsh, but I know a number of people that, I'm working too much, I don't get enough time off, this is fucking this and this is that, and woe is me. Are we reinforcing the story that stress has over us, or are we looking at it as opportunities to grow? Stress management, 1 to 7. Next one, the growth zone. Speaking of growth, how often do we step out of the comfort zone? Where are we with that? Now, anybody that knows me will know that I'm an enormous fan of this particular variable. And one might argue, what's this all about? To do with health. Why is the growth zone correlated with health literacy? And the easy answer to that is, if we use going to the gym as a metaphor, what happens when we are working our muscles? What happens when we are adding resistance to what we do? And the answer to that is we are creating growth. But to have that growth, there is an interplay between stress and resistance, adversity and challenge, and growth. So how often do you step out of comfort, complacency, and convenience and lean right the fuck on a 45-degree angle into inconvenience, discomfort, chaos, stress, adversity, and challenge? Also, Andrew Huberman was very famous in one of his podcasts. He is a leading neuroscientist, which is at the forefront of modern psychology, neuroscience. People in the fitness industry, and I fell into this category as well for quite some time, used to believe that training really hard and doing excessive exercise and just enormously ridiculous amounts of exercise, I would consider that, growth. I'm looking for the hard thing. I'm doing the challenge. Now, the issue here is, and Andrew Huberman argues, if you enjoy what you're doing, then it's not really the hard thing. It's not really amplifying, exaggerating, or maximizing growth. And now that I think about it, and from experience, I tend to agree. So when we look at growth, how often do we lean into the things that are really difficult and really uncomfortable? Hydration, variable number 6. Something I prepared earlier. It does look like a aqua blue, ocean blue used condom. I can assure you that it's not. This is my little drink bottle. Yeah, that's good. Somebody laughed. Hydration is a crucial role in our health. Performance decreases by 25% once hydration starts to set in. The more dehydrated you are, the more you will be cognitively challenged, i.e. your thoughts, your thinking, your awareness, your focus, your ability to have episodic memories. Episodic meaning actual memories where you can remember where you were, when it was, who was there, a little bit of context. Hydration affects that. It has a direct impact on our sleep, improves mood. When we're dehydrated, our mood takes a bit of a hit, and helps fight infections, viruses, things like that. So where's your hydration? groups and organizations, we really push this, that, learning, growing is state dependent. Managing challenges with a positive attitude and aptitude is really helpful. Think about when you're trying to learn something. Happiness is a learning state. If you're enjoying what you're learning, then the likelihood is you'll have a better chance of retaining it. So happiness plays a huge role. There is a lot of supportive evidence to say that it supports our immune system as well. So if we're fighting colds and flus and things like that, generally being in a positive /realism mindset is going to help. There are studies that link happiness with increased life expectancy. So if you think about those in the blue zones, people that are super centurions, they're living past 100. They're generally quite happy and have a positive outlook on life. They have purpose with what they're doing. So happiness is a variable that contributes to health literacy. Number 8, mental stability and health, score of 1 to 7. Where are you at most of the time? Again, you're just inferring here. You're making an inference as to the state of your mental health, stability and wellness. Obviously, your mental health affects how you think, which then influences how you feel, and that will fundamentally impact how you act. So where's the mental health at? It's important to look at this, because this also contributes and correlates with your ability to mitigate and manage daily stress. Number 9, goals, aspirations, and events. Do you set goals? Do you focus on creating momentum in your life, working towards outcomes? Setting goals triggers proactive and adaptive behavior. So if you are wanting to be healthy and you set some goals, whether that's around body composition, your aesthetics, or even half marathons, running, Ironmans, golf, sporting goals, high rocks, CrossFit, you name it, having an event or a goal, that's going to trigger behaviors that will match your intention with your attention. So that's important. Okay, having goals, having aspirations, things to work towards, super important. Last one is body composition. Of a rating of 1 to 7, how do you rate your current body composition? So this is actually your level of satisfaction. When you look into the mirror and you are potentially nude with a dim light, with a little bit of background ambient music, are you satisfied with your body image, your body composition on a scale of 1 to 7? Obviously 7 is very dissatisfied. 1 is very dissatisfied, and 7, you are very comfortable with your body composition, and therefore I would imagine that would influence your self-image, like how you actually think or feel about yourself. We got a comment there. Some of us need brighter lighting, brighter lighting. Yeah, I agree. Need a bit of a brighter light. So scales of 1 to 7. So now you can have a look at what you have at some of the metrics. And this is where I would encourage all of you to consider where can I move the needle here? And I think it's really important we want to move the needle subtly. If we try and do it rapidly or swiftly, take it from say a 2 to a 6, it's too big a jump. It's way too big a jump. So in terms of homework, or what we call at the Mind Gym home play, because we want to have fun with this shit, how could you, in the next week, how can you move that needle just one number. How can we move it just one? And think something easy like hydration. How can you go from 1,500 mils of fluid to 2 liters? How could you add 500 mils? So for each variable, you want to look at an action. What's an action that we can do? And I really love this quote, and it is, we don't rise to the level of our goals, but we will fall to the level of our daily habits and protocols. I'll say that again. We don't rise to the level of our goals. Goal setting is fucking easy. We can set any type of goal, but the cognitively, we set goals unconsciously. And so basically consciously, the conscious mind is the goal setter. The unconscious and subconscious mind is the goal getter. So we can consciously write down some things, some principles, some protocols, some habits of how we increase our health literacy. Because remember, as Epictetus said, we have a responsibility to do our best and to be our best. And by increasing all these variables of health, we're going to give that a red hot crack. But I am leaning on the compound effect here. We just want to take little steps repeatedly. We don't want to take big jumps because there's very little sustainability with that. We want to start the daily protocols and habits. So I took the liberty in the last 5 minutes of this little workshop. Please put in if you're watching live or you're on Zoom, put a little comment. Just let me know, is this helpful? Is this reflection and evaluation and a little bit of information on each variable? Is this helpful so far? And please remember that, information doesn't mean transformation. I'm just another fucking person online sharing thoughts, ideas, and concepts. It does not mean you are going to change. And I know everybody will understand that when you're watching this. You'll be like, yeah, no, I get that. It's all in the daily protocols and habits. Remember, information does not guarantee transformation, not even close. So in the next 5 minutes, here is 12 little protocols. Now, these are quite extreme, and these are the ones that I, myself, and my wife do our best to adhere to, and what we try and implement on the daily. And I'm going to share them with you now. Now, number 1 is prioritizing your sleep hygiene as much as your physical hygiene. So prioritizing your sleep hygiene as much as your physical hygiene. So we put all this effort and time on putting the foo-foos on in the morning, a little bit of the little scent of wisdom, Brute 33. If I can get them every time. If we put as much attention on our sleep hygiene, gets nobody, love. Gets nobody. Dangerous territory, ladies and gentlemen. Ooh. Anyway, stop talking about physical hygiene. Sleep hygiene. So getting to bed early to wake up early. Okay, going to bed early to get up early. Protecting your sleep mercilessly and starting to establish a sleep hygiene routine. So protect your sleep hygiene as much as you prioritize your health hygiene. Number 2, consider cooking most of your food rather than eating out. You have no fucking idea what they are throwing in your food, how they are cooking your food. Are they using hydrogenated fats? Are they using vegetable oils? Are they, we've got no idea. No idea. And if we're not measuring, we're only guessing. So an easy way, an easy principle to apply is to cook your own food most of the time. You be one of those people that go to social events or workshops or things like that and take your own food, containers of your own cooked food. Save a shitload of money and your body will thank you in the long run. Leave your phone in the cupboard or in your bag or in a drawer, somewhere out of sight, out of mind for 24 hours. I'm not great with this, but I have done this a few times, and I'll tell you what, that my cognition is so much better for it. And it's very difficult There are thousands of very intelligent digital engineers that are structuring your phone and all its fuckery to keep you engaged and to violate, captivate, and grab your attention. So that's a big one. But I find the times I do it well is when I put my phone away and I don't see it. So that's a really good one. Tuck it away for 24 hours in a week. Give the pages in your journal more love than the reflection or the pages of your messenger feed or social media platforms. So writing down in a journal, be it a gratitude journal, reflection journal, evaluation, journaling, give the pages of your journal more attention than you give the pages of social media. Again, challenging, but this is a principle you could possibly wish to embrace. Number 5, aim for 800 grams of fruit and vegetables every day. There's a great dietary movement. I can't remember the lady's name. And I think it's actually called 800 grams or something like that. I have to have a look online. I can't remember. It was a while ago since I had a look at it. 800 grams, I think, equates to about 6 full cups of fruit and vegetables every day. Doesn't matter what you have. Again, people will argue, oh, but there's sugar in fruit. It's like, fucking hell, says the person that eats 2 packets of Tim Tams in a fortnight. Like, fruit and vegetables, whole foods all day long. There's so many good antioxidants, vitamins and minerals. 800 grams of fruit and vegetables a day. Again, I'm not a nutritionist, and nor do I claim to be, but I know the difference between whole foods and what's potentially going to contribute to my health rather than contaminate it. But do your own research as well, team. Don't engage with gossip or talking about other people, as that will fuel drama, gossip, negativity, and toxicity. And in gym environments, it is fucking rife. Whenever there's multiple human beings, organizations, groups, teams, there will be people that will take great pleasure in talking about other people. These are insidious, pernicious, fucking shithouse conversations. And I have engaged in many of these over the years. But it's one of those things, when you learn to know better, you got to do better. And that comes with a level of responsibility. Now I'm more consciously aware of it. If I hear it, I will leave the chat. Hang around with people that talk ideas and concepts, not about other people. Because if they're talking about other people, I fucking promise you they're talking about you. So don't engage with the latest gossip, gym or workplace bullshit. Fuck it off. Move on. Breath work and meditation more than masturbation. Oh, no, joking. Easy. Easy brown chocolate. No, breath work and meditation more than procrastination. Look to include a daily meditational practice or breathwork practice. Anything's meditation. You know, washing the dishes, drying the dishes, mowing the lawns, going surfing, sitting in silence, sitting in stillness. I knew you were laughing. I knew you'd laugh at that one. Oh, brilliant. Beautiful. Love you, Ash. Really important. Get clarity of mind. Clear the decks. Really cool, actually. I'm gonna talk about this really quickly because I think it would be helpful. There was a guy called Brian Tracy many years ago in the 60s and 70s. He came up with a practice for finding solutions to your problems. Now, I encourage anybody that's listened to the Zoom or on Facebook Live, if you've got a challenge or a problem, right? If you've got a challenge or a problem, he suggested that you sit in silence for 1 to 2 hours and you ask your mind for 20 solutions. So if you've got a problem, need to make more money, need more motivation, I don't know, I'm procrastinating on an uncomfortable conversation with a colleague, go into silence and stillness and ask your mind to find 20 solutions. your mind, your consciousness will go off and do a little googly search, and it's going to come back with those solutions. But the point being is sometimes we don't give ourselves the chance to do that. And in meditation or breath work, these are great opportunities to really lean into that type of very mindful practice where we are spending time with ourselves and giving ourselves a chance to down regulate, to let our nervous system calm down and relax and take a breather from the stress and strains of daily life. Woo! Number 8, nearly there, team, on the home stretch. Drink sparkling water at social outings, not sparkling wine. Whilst I'm not against social drinking, it is just a principle. You know, it's just a thought-provoking concept. You might, pick your fights. If it's your 20th wedding anniversary, if it's one of your children's 21st, and you want to have a celebration, so be it. But oftentimes, going in with the intention of having an alcohol-free social outing, match it with your attention, taking a bottle of sparkling water, you're going to wake up feeling much better and be able to carry on with your day. Honor and respect your sleeping protocols, and you're just going to feel fucking way better the next day. Go barefoot, get barefoot and go outside more than covering up your feet and working inside. So get outside as much as you can and get those bare feet out there enjoying nature. Human beings have an affinity to nature, and when we can connect with nature, we will naturally calm down. We will naturally feel a lot more healthy, and our direct connection and integration with nature is through our feet. So uncover the feet more than you cover the feet, and do your best to get outside more than you're inside. Hope that one helps. On holidays, have exercise fatigue more than hangover fatigue. My wife will tell you, when we holiday, we exercise more than when we're here. So I love the exhaustion from running around a different place when on holiday and having a good look around, or visiting gyms in places that I've never been before. I much prefer that, waking up with exercise fatigue, than waking up with hangover fatigue. A couple more. This one I am synonymous for, notorious for, so people that know me well know now that I don't party anymore. I am the last to arrive to a social outing, and I am the first to leave. And I do that to protect my sleep. So I'm the last to arrive to a social outing, and I'll be the first to leave. Quite common for me to drop a smoke bomb and disappear. So I'll still socialize, but I will minimize my time so I can get a good night's sleep and rip into the next day. And the final one, which is a really difficult one, and it's one that I am really flexing that muscle and doing my best to get uncomfortable with it so I can get comfortable with it, is choosing my own company and silence, stillness over scrolling. Very challenging. And this one I find, quite difficult, but I know it's there, and so I do my best to lean into this one. So choosing my own company's and my silence and stillness over scrolling. So that's one I would really encourage you guys to have a good crack at. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope that today's workshop was helpful. I'm going to provide the Zoom recording as well, so you can watch it back. Again,